This was originally going to be double-billed with a review of the Babysitter Killer Queen. Then I saw Cuties first, and I realized that I had a lot to say about it. So much that it would definitely overshadow whatever I said about the Babysitter. I might see the Babysitter Killer Queen sometime later and make a video about it, especially if there's a demand for it. But for now, let's get into a more touchy subject. I said I would review the Babysitter Killer Queen. Well, not today. Well now, here we are. Finally, the highly anticipated video. Actually, nobody cared about it at all. This is like the New Mutants of movie review videos. The Babysitter Killer Queen is the sequel to the 2017 horror comedy. This one has Mick G returning to direct. Yes, that is his full name, but it does not involve the writer of the original screenplay, instead opting for 4 different writers. That's not too promising. Okay, before I get to talking about the plot of this one, I should probably at least mention what the first one is about so nobody's confused, because it's not like straight to Netflix horror movies are that well known. Okay, so some kid finds out that his babysitter is in some satanic cult and they need his blood to complete a ritual. While the plot is a little out there and the directing is perhaps a little too stylized for its own good, it still has more than enough gory fun and an above-average coming-of-age story. I actually enjoyed it a little more when I rewatched it to prepare for this review. Now, for this one, the kid is now in high school and nobody believes him about what happened during the events of that night. What they believed happened is never mentioned. A bunch of dead bodies, the missing babysitter, and a car crash into a fucking house is not exactly the kind of thing that's easy to cover up. So I guess the writers just decided to just not try to think of something. Anyway, after finding out his parents want him institutionalized, he runs away to a party. But someone at that party turns out to be a part of the same cult and brings some people from the first movie back to life, and they try to do the ritual again. First of all, the positives. This movie is still kind of fun. Not as much as the original, but it does go bigger. The deaths are more over the top, and we can see that it has what looks like a bigger budget. But in the long run, this just feels unnecessary. This was a lot better as a standalone story, and the decision at the beginning to reveal the girlfriend character from the first one is a member of the same cult kinda ruined some of the scenes they had together.
The last guy I saw get kissed got stabbed in the head by 2 knives.
Just because she's a psychopath doesn't mean women are evil.
In fact, practically her entire character is thrown out the window in favor of something completely different in its attempts to take the story into this questionable direction. And the whole movie is inferior in terms of both atmosphere and, most of all, comedy. When people aren't getting killed, a lot of the attempts at humor fall flat. The pop culture references often feel dated and forced. The first half hour before any horror stuff happens is kind of difficult to get through. The dialogue can be really bad at times, and the coming-of-age story isn't as interesting. It also has a tendency to show very brief backstory scenes for the villains at awkward moments, except they aren't even that descriptive. The longest one of them probably doesn't even crack the 2-minute mark, so now they just interrupt the action. To be fair, they do have a decent payoff, but they just could have been done a lot better. But the horror scenes are where it excels. While it doesn't have the original sense of atmosphere and tension, the deaths are very funny and over the top. This is still a very entertaining movie that will at least keep you engaged, but at the same time it's just such a drop in quality and such an unnecessary movie.